So my daughter had said for dinner she wanted some steak smothered in gravy with some mashed potatoes and string beans. So I took some steak, washed it in lemon juice and vinegar. Then I patted it dry. They remind me of like little pork chop steaks. And it was a pack that was probably like $7 at the meat store. I got some marinade from that meat store that I got the pack of meat from. Trying some shit out, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me marinate this meat. And I did it with some blackened seasoning. Just add a little touch to it. And then my holy trinity, the lemon pepper, the turmeric, the onion powder.
That holiness sound like the Holy Grail.
Like the base of my seasonings when I'm doing something. And then I start to get the twirling it around, give it a nice little twirl around. And then after that, I sit in the refrigerator probably for like 30 minutes. So I threw the meat down. I like to cook mine in butter because
it tastes good.
Something about like cooking steak and with butter, just straight butter. It just gives that nice,
melt in your mouth type,
chewy, not too much softness taste to it. Now, when you cooking your steak, be sure to bring it into the middle. Harness that whole into the middle because the rest of the pan is going it's going to get a little sticky or crusty. Don't get discouraged by that. That's the little crevices you need.
And make sure you got that butter circulating and add more if it runs low.
Turn it down low, you know what I'm saying? And then I cut my onions up. They were purple onions. I ain't had no other onions and I ain't feel like going back to the grocery store.
Fight me, ho.
So I'm finishing cutting that and then I cook the rest of the meat, put that to the side, you feel me? And then I start on with the onions to make the gravy. Now I did take the skillet off the eye, because I turned the shit down, but it was still a little too hot. So I took it off the eye, threw the onions in there, let that bit cook for a little bit. Then when the eye was turned down and still low, then I put it back on there. Now with the gravy packets, I had half a packs, y'all. Damn, I know I'm hood with this shit. Beef stew and some brown gravy. And I just did what I did. I stirred that shit up together because I ain't feel like going to the grocery store. Like, whatever, judge me. And then I poured it in there to make my gravy. You feel me?
Hey, that skillet ain't burnt. It's black.
It's doing what it do. And then while that's doing what it do, I'm cutting up my steak into the strips for the kids so it's easy for them to eat. And you know what I'm saying? That mix with their meal. Me going the extra mile and shit. But anyways, so yeah, now my gravy is doing what it do. So now I take the meat, the steak, and throw it in there and stir it around. Now I'm stirring it around.
Man, that shit ain't looking how I want it to.
It's not thickening the way I wanted it thick, y'all. And it was really bothering me because I like my gravy thick, you feel me? So I said, fuck it. I went and got me another pack. I found a turkey gravy mix. I don't care, judge.
I'm not getting in my car to drive up the street for no damn gravy.
So I threw it in there. You know what I'm saying? Do what it do and look. It's doing exactly what it need to be done. Y'all got to stop being scared to improvise, bro. Just try some shit. So back to the mashed potatoes. Now we started on the loaded mashed potatoes. Said add 2 cups of boiling water. Immediately add entire pouch. You see how that shit was in bold? Anyway, so I did my 2 cup of water with the butter. And that bit did immediately start, cooking.
Immediately.
So, yeah, it does what it do. I ain't had no more sprinkled cheese, so I went and used the Parmesan. Like I said, I'll go to the grocery store later. I ain't feel like going to the store. And I threw a little milk in there, even though it said don't add no milk. Just water. I like to add a little milk with my mashed potatoes. Now we on to the string beans. Threw a little butter in there. Threw the canned string beans in that bit. Sprinkle a little sugar on that bit. And it's some adobe. Now we finna taste the mashed potatoes, I'm telling you. That loaded mashed potatoes was good. Was loaded with some seasoning. And now my steak.
That gravy was thicker
so good.
Than
now I gotta taste test that. You know.
Let the flavors dance in your mouth.
Them steak strips was good now.
Look at my finger.
Now we got the string beans. It's about done. Here go the kids' plate. Thing 1 and thing 2. So I'm calling them to come get their plate because they finna chow down. You know what I'm saying? Here go my son. I'll leave with his rock head eye. You know what I'm saying? Then for my daughter, her jelly roll head eye. And, they finna eat and do their thing. And then I got my plate. Mommy got her plate. My 2 oldest, they already gone. So it's just
one in college.
So, yeah, we just towing down, do what we do. I appreciate y'all watching. If you learned some pointers, use it. If you got something negative to say, thanks for watching. All right, I'm out. Yeah.